Start by creating a new custom tour and give it any name you like. Next, upload your equirectangular images, JPEG format only. You can simply drag and drop them into the upload area or click inside the area to select files from your computer. Once that's done, head over to the Links Google Moderator tab. At the bottom, you'll see the source thumbnail slider. Select a panorama and set the offset from its default viewing angle, either by rotating the small triangle on the marker or by using the compass bar at the bottom. For now, you can just leave it as is. Use the target thumbnail slider on the left to choose the panorama you want to connect to. As for the target panorama, you adjust its offset from default simply by dragging the panorama left or right while it is open in the top viewer. You can resize the layout using the yellow divider between the map and the viewer. Click a marker on the map to activate it and drag markers around to organize your scene. Now select the first panorama you want to connect. Right after selecting your source panorama, select a target by clicking on its thumbnail in the target slider or hover over the map marker you want to connect to. Then click the gray dotted line between the two markers to create the connection. You'll see it appear in the active links list, and both sliders will show a small colored triangle to indicate the link. Now it's time to align both panoramas so they face the same direction. The target panorama is displayed as a window on top of the source panorama. You can move this top window up or down and adjust its opacity or size using the sliders in the bottom right. This makes it much easier to see both panoramas at the same time and really dial in the alignment. If the panoramas are close together, you can enable top-down view to match floor patterns more easily. Use the mouse to drag, hold Shift key for fine control, and Alt key for very precise adjustments. Look for a horizontal or vertical reference, like a floor line or ceiling edge, and line the source panorama up with the viewer guides. Then drag the target panorama to match the source. Once everything lines up, it's time to set the correct viewing angle of the connection. Don't rotate the target anymore and avoid touching the compass at this point. Only turn the source panorama to face where the target was captured. Find an object visible in both panoramas. Something in the far distance works best, and align them carefully. After that, all that's left is to drag the target marker on the map until the connection lines up with the triangle on the source marker. And that's it. Your connection is done. Now test it. Click the chevron and see if the forward transition feels natural. Press the R key on your keyboard to turn around 180 degrees and check the reverse direction. If something feels off, you may need a small adjustment to the initial alignment. Then just repeat the process for the next pair. Align the panoramas, adjust the view, and position the marker. Now here's where things get a little more interesting. After you've established your first connection, you've basically set the world scale for your entire tour. If you keep moving in one direction only, and eventually branch out to the left and right, you can usually eyeball the distances between panoramas. But if you're working in a tighter space, like in this one-room example, where you can jump between multiple panoramas, the distances need to be accurate between all of them. And that's where our nerd triangulation fix comes in. Once you've established two connections, create a temporary connection between the first and the last panorama to form a triangle. Select that new connection in the active links list, and take a look at where the chevron is pointing. If the chevron is pointing correctly at the target, great, you're done. If not, just turn the source panorama to face the direction where the target was actually captured and ignore the chevron. Remember, everything is already aligned. So do not move the target panorama, and do not touch the compass of the source panorama. Find a common object that is visible in both panoramas. Something in the distance works best, and align them carefully just like before. And now comes the magic. Press the yellow nerd button to automatically adjust the distances between the three panoramas. That's it. All three panoramas are now perfectly aligned with each other. You can now delete the temporary connection if you want, or continue building from there. Just repeat the same process. Align, adjust, position, then close the triangle and fix it again. One important thing, make sure the last panorama you connected is active in the source viewer when you run the fix, otherwise you might mess up parts you've already finalized. Once all connections are done, you can scale and rotate your entire constellation. Hold the Control key and drag a selection box around your markers. Then rotate using the handle or resize using the corners. To preview your final tour, go to the Settings tab and set the initial panorama. Make sure chevrons and/or floating chevrons are enabled and adjust navigation points and points auto-hide as you like. Click Save, then hit the Tour button to check the result. Now for the final step, uploading to Google Maps. First, we need to assign a place ID to the tour. This ID can relate to business, a landmark, or just a physical address. Right now we're somewhere in the desert in the middle of Nevada, so let's fix that. Click the green search button in the top right. Use the search bar to find a city, address, or business, then accept the search result or select another landmark on the map. Once you've found your location, click the green Relocate button. This moves your entire tour and assigns the selected place ID to your tour. Now align, resize, and rotate your constellation to match the real-world layout. Switch between satellite and map view for fine-tuning. And you're done. Click the green button, Publish to Google Maps. After hitting Prepare Data, we do a quick final check. If everything looks good, click Upload to Google Maps. Give it a few minutes after the upload finishes before checking the status. If all panoramas show a place ID, level, and valid connections, you're good to go. If something is missing, just upload again. That usually fixes it. You can click View on Maps right away, but keep in mind it can take several hours, sometimes even a couple of days, for the connections to fully appear on Google Maps.